Hey, Tom, and in this video we're going to wrap up the enclosure build and take a look at just some highlights of the build itself. Okay, so as you can see, the enclosure is at least structurally completed. I don't know if I'm going to paint that front or not. I actually kind of like the way it looks, just the way that it is, but I might, in keeping with the rest of the look, I may actually paint that. Needless to say, I am not a woodworker. I'm a metal worker, right? So this was an interesting project for me. I learned a lot from it. Most of you guys out there, especially those of you who do woodwork, I have a renewed respect for what you do. Plain and simple. I couldn't get things to get squared up, or even like this door works fine, right? This door, you see when I let it go, how it drops? It's because this side of the frame isn't supported right? I guess I'm going to put a little angle bracket or something down here in the bottom to help support that properly, so it'll do what it's supposed to do. Tell you, lots of things learned on this one. Always room for improvement. But frankly, it'll do the job. I'll fix it up as I go. I haven't taken the protective covers off yet of the plastic, but it was fun, and I'm glad overall that I've got it because I'm ready. I'm really ready to get working with this mill and start cutting some chips. And frankly, the 1-year-old at home, I can't have these chips flying all over the place, and I'm still, even with all the manual machines I've got in here, I'm tracking chips into the house, and I'm having to do an awful lot to try and stop it at the door, basically. I miss having a dedicated shop, there's no doubt about it, because I left that kind of stuff there. I guess this is the plight of the home machinist, right? The guy that works out of the house, is that you're always going to run into this kind of stuff. So anyways, you've heard enough of me babbling. Let's take a look at this stage of the build. I've covered previous portions of it in other videos. This stage was really just getting the doors set up. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will get on with the show. Okay, so in keeping with my theme of not spending any money on this, I used some plywood I had around the shop. So there's just 1/2-inch plywood, and I used plunge cutting to cut the window area out. So I had it all measured out, just split it in half, pretty straightforward. Make sure you got your protective gear on. I love having those slits in the welding table. It makes it a whole lot easier to clamp things down. There's my first mistake. I didn't support it properly. Once I got things cut, get it sanded. Oh my God, sawdust everywhere. It took me forever to clean up after this project. Not, at least it wasn't so bad as metal, chips in the house. But wow, yeah, definitely all over the place. From there, I just used hot glue to affix the sheet of plexiglass that I had on there to get it in place. I want to be able to replace it. It's not anything fancy, but it does need to be replaced in time. From there, there is a gap. You can see the gap there. I intended to do that because I wanted to have a stop on the door. So again, just using stuff that I had. I used a flush cut saw to lop off the top there. Both of those pieces, there was actually 2 pieces that I glued together, and then I glued the piece to the door itself. So that was pretty much it. It didn't take a whole lot after that, so I was pretty happy. Well, if you're still with me, I wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you watching the videos. Wasn't always the most exciting as far as, for those of you who really like to see the machining operations piece of it, this wasn't that video. And I try and put things like that in the description, so if it's not for you, you can skip it. But I do appreciate it. We recently, and I put this out as the last video I put out actually while I was on travel. We did cross that 1,000 viewer mark and 100,000 views mark. I'm really very grateful for everyone on all of that. And the last thing that I wanted to say is actually more of a request. If you have anything in particular that you would like to see, if there's something you'd like to see different, like me to do differently, always leave it in the comments, right? You know, I've got thick skin. I'm an old paratrooper, right? You can say all kinds of stuff. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Well, it might, but I'm not going to admit to it. No, just kidding. Anyways, yeah, if there's something you want to see, things that you want to see done differently, just let me know. That's what the comments are for. The comments are there to engage in conversation, ask questions. I don't know everything, you know, plain and simple. Not a single one of us does. But it's a pretty cool community that we're in, and if I don't know the answer to something, someone's liable to answer for me. And the other part there is if I'm doing something wrong, especially if I'm doing something blatantly wrong, and you see it, and you don't tell me about it, I'm going to be pissed. So, of course, if you don't tell me about it, I won't know. But anyways, I'm battling. It's been a long day. I hope you had a great weekend. For those of you on the east coast of the U.S., I hope you are surviving our blizzard. One of the best parts about being in North Carolina is mine is almost gone already. So just as fast as it got here, it's gone. See you soon.